Hi, welcome to Adamson Survival. Today I want to send a shout out. This has been inspired by both FortuneCookie45 as well as Elvis Ammo. Watch both of these guys' videos on YouTube on powder coating. And they both inspired me. I've had issues with not issues. I followed both of their instructions to try to figure out which ones worked best for me. And I've actually come up with my own that I just finished testing. And before I go and start talking about this and that and why are you even going to listen to me, I'm going to show you some results. Now, and I'm going to show you using the Harbor Freight Yellow powder. Now, everyone pretty much is unanimous in saying that we're not going for 100% coat. They're accepting the marble look, just as long as you get that gloss coat over the whole bullet. That's pretty much doing the functionality of why we're powder coating. Why do we powder coat? Well, for a couple of different reasons. Excuse me. One is because it causes less lead fouling in your barrels. Liquid Alox is supposed to do the same thing, but that's a little bit on the expensive side. If you have a good reloader supplier, then most of the time you get a free bottle of Lee's Alox when you buy a sizer. Also, depending on what rounds you're reloading, you have gas checks that you have to worry about. For instance, I started reloading because I have the Smith & Wesson 500. And you see here I have a copper gas check on this 440 grain .502 lead bullet. These are a little bit expensive. Now, with powder coating, I can do away with the gas check because it's supposed to help the leading on the bottom so I get a more uniform burst out of there. And Harbor Freight Red coats great. Pretty much either one, either method you use, you're going to get a pretty good coat with the red powder coat. I also do 223. Actually, this is the 225, and even with the powder coat, sizing down to the 224 doesn't rub off. I mean, it's good. You see a good coating on there. However, these aren't the only ones that I do. I also do the most that I shoot is the 45 ACP, 200 grain. Now, I'm going to show you the Harbor Freight Yellow. Now, this is using Elvis Ammo's method where you heat it up for 140 for 4 to 5 minutes, and then you shake it in a number 5 plastic jug for a good while until you get a good coat, and then bake it for 20 minutes. It does work. All right, you get this nice gloss coating over the whole bullet, but I mean, you get this little yellow marble look on there, which functionally this is perfect. It's going to do exactly what you need. And then you have FortuneCookie45, who puts it into your vibrating tumbler for 20 minutes and then bakes them for 20 minutes. And they do a similar job. Elvis Ammo does his, he claims it's a little faster because instead of tumbling it for 20 minutes, you're cooking it for 5 minutes and shaking it for 3 to 5 minutes till you get a good coat. Both methods work pretty good. There's other people who do the liquid coating, where they mix in a little bit of acetone with the powder and then they shake it and bake it. And they run into the same problem with like the greens and the yellows and the whites. You get a marbled look. You don't get 100% coating. Now, I'm also IT support, so there's a problem here. Number one, if you use this method and you want to change colors, you have to pour the powder out and clean this out and change your colors. And that can get a little bit messy. If you're just using the shake and bake method or Elvis Ammo's method, you don't have to worry about powder in multiple containers. You can have a separate little butter jug or Cool Whip jug for each color that you want, so you ensure that your colors aren't mixing or matching. But you're still getting that marbled look on the yellows and the whites. So I've tried something, and want to show you this. This is with the Harbor Freight yellow. Alright, here we go. I'm going to try to spin this around for you. I've gotten a pretty solid coat on there all the way around. And I can say that I've used a mixture of both methods. Now, once again, it's not 100%, but it's a more solid color. I haven't tested the white yet. I'm going to. And I also have found this green powder coat that I bought from Cabela's that they use on fishing lures because I want to make my own zombie ammo. And it seems to be working about the same as Harbor Freight yellow or Harbor Freight white. So let me explain to you. First, let me explain to you my method and something that I developed, but it's using your rotary tumbler. This is a double long rotary tumbler. I got this at Harbor Freight, Chicago Electric Tools. Pretty cheap, $56, I think. And then you get a 20% off coupon. And what I've made is this right here. This is typical 4-inch PVC pipe. And I got a threaded rod where I hold both the end caps on. And it fits perfectly into your tumbler. I put the electrical tape around there because with the powder and the bullets, it got a little heavy, so the electrical tape just allows the tumbler to grab it and spin it. And the first time I tried it, I got the same results, except for I did get one or two out of my batch that had a good coat, and then the rest were marbled like expected. And I thought maybe I didn't put enough powder in there because maybe it was just some of them didn't have enough powder or it was unlevel or something. So I tried again and poured like half the bottle in there. And I got a good coat with 30 rounds in there. So this is what I think is going on with the science of it. So if you're using the method where you heat it up for 150 minutes and then you shake it in a tub, what happens is that the bullets are in there, but they're kind of stationary, and then they're shaking around in there, not really moving much. And they're getting a coat, and you're trying to build up a friction static charge with all the bullets moving around in there, collecting the powder coating and applying it on there. And heating them up to in the oven for 150 is kind of exciting the electrons, which is making it easier for them to build up the static charge because the electrons are moving from one to the other. More heat, the faster the electrons get. Then the tumbler method the vibrating tumbler method here takes a little bit longer. It takes the full 20 minutes because you don't have the heat, so you've got to excite the electrons to build up that static charge, so you have to move them more. Once again, they're just moving and bouncing at each other and just kind of fast, but you don't have 100% contact. That's where you're building up the static charge. So this method, my thoughts behind it were, I'm going to use this. When this is rolling, the bullet is also rolling inside there. So it's having 100% contact with another bullet or with the PVC pipe. It's never just floating there bouncing around. It's having constant rolling contact, which hopefully is building up the static charge in there more so than any other. So I tried it, and I put half the thing of powder in there, put 30 200 grain 45 ACPs in there, because I only have 100 to test with right now. I was doing it in small batches. And as you can see, I am going to now move the camera down to my tray. I've got a more consistent result with my batch. So here's from my rotary tumbler. This is the warmed, shaking in the tub, then baking for 20 minutes. And then this is the rotary tumbler, or the vibrating tumbler for 20 minutes. Then baking for 20. So this one, you still put them in there for 20 minutes. They got a nice even coat, and then I baked them for 20 minutes. Now the other thing is, this doesn't cost that much to make. And I can label these. I have a couple of them made. As a matter of fact, I have these on my Etsy shop without the rod in them, but I can always add that in. And I can have one of these per color, so I never have to worry about mixing my colors up. It's taking up a little extra space or whatever, but when you're talking about me, I'm doing 1,000 rounds of each caliber at least, then putting the money in is going to be worth it if you're going to go this route, especially if you want the multiple colors. So, I'm not saying anyone's method is better than the rest. For instance, mine takes more time, but I get a more solid coat. So far. Elvis Ammo's, he does his a little faster, saves a little time. And they're still 100% functional. The acetone mix, I've read, it's pretty much the same. So if you want to spend more time getting a more solid coat, my method may be what you use, or you can find something else. I just want to give you information and another possible way of doing it. But I want to thank everyone for the inspiration, and I know we can all work together. So I look forward to seeing everyone's comments on this, and I hope maybe we can find even a better method. But this is the way to go. Powder coating, 100%, I believe in it. And hopefully, if you're like me, my main goal is to make my own zombie ammo. Green coated bullets. It's not that hard. But, alright. Thank you much, and I'll talk to you guys later.